Hello friends, let us discuss about the most spoken and talk about words nowadays, and that is the third wave of the COVID-19 disease. Ever since the COVID-19 was erupted in China and propagated to the entire world, a havoc and some misconceptions and the myths about the diseases have been propagated by various words. But nowadays we are very much confident about the pathophysiology, the spread and the probable treatment of the disease. So what exactly about the third wave? See, in almost all of the viral infections there are peaks in particular season. If I talk about the India, in India particularly the virus afflictions they are at the peak in the autumn and the spring season. There is a natural peak of the viral diseases in these two seasons. We have noticed many viruses in last decades like the dengue virus, like the chikungunya and even the swine flu and various other types of the flu. They are prevalent, and we have also noticed the change of strain, that is the mutation, a very normal phenomena with any type of virus. So what is the hype about this COVID-19 disease? Actually, it's some of the manifestations, they are obviously severe. The pulmonary phase associated with the COVID-19 disease is peculiar, and the pneumonia caused by this virus causes widespread morbidity as well as the mortality in a population. If we talk about the mild, moderate and severe disease particularly, the mild disease is prevailing in almost the entire world, and if you see the statistics or demographic or epidemiology of the disease, then the mortality rate ranges between 1 to 2 to hardly 3%. But 3% mortality is still a matter of concern. As per the hospital admissions are concerned, it has been noticed that the 20%, 15 to 20% of the patients that actually require the hospitalization, and the ICU admissions are not more than 5%. The mortality in some countries is even below the 1%. In India, it ranges between 1 to 2%. The spike in the viral infections, that is natural in autumn and spring season. So we have noticed that when this disease just, I am talking about India specific issues, 2020, and in March we first started to receive the considerable number of the patients. It was in the peak in the month of April and May. Later on, we noticed the peak in the month of October and November in the autumn season, and then in the December it started declining the cases. Again the months of January, February and some up to some extent in the March they remained silent, and again in the April and May it created havoc. It was most difficult time for India, as we did not have enough this oxygen carrying vessels, means the cryo vessels which carry the liquid oxygen. Though India produces enough amount of medical oxygen and industrial oxygen, but due to some transportation issue and there is a sudden spike in the number of the cases, it was very much difficult to maintain the demand and supply gap, and at least 4 to 5 days were very difficult for some states of the India. But later on the things were managed swiftly, and at this stage we are well equipped in terms of the logistics as well as other medicines. See, in the coronavirus disease or COVID, that is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 or novel coronavirus, whatever, we actually require two things. The first is the adequate number of ICU beds to decrease the mortality in the patients. We cannot decrease the morbidity, it is difficult, but we can surely decrease the mortality in case of the COVID-19 patients. And now we are very well equipped in terms of the logistics. We have enough number of ventilators, we have enough numbers of BiPAP machines, as well as the oxygen cylinders. So the governments, the subsequent governments have managed to just keep the supply in order nowadays, in terms of the oxygen bed, in terms of the ICU bed, the BiPAP machine as well as the ventilators. It is a very important thing to note that even in the second wave, the intubations in the COVID patients was not much higher. Means the majority of the patients were managed by simply giving the oxygen through different types of masks as well as venti mask, and by the BiPAP machine, and a very few of the patients required actually the intubation in an ICU setup. So it is a good sign. The second thing is that as per the medicines is concerned, the oxygen is the only medicine and a perfect tool to combat the after effects of the COVID-19 disease. In general, if I talk about the COVID-19 disease, it may be divided into two categories broadly. The first phase, when the infection is entered into the body. I have already explained the COVID-19 disease in the details, but now I just explain by the point of view of the management of a patient. When the virus take entry into the body, the majority of the patient, they just neutralize it, and there is not any symptoms, or there are mild symptoms. Some people may have loss of taste or smell, so the virus remains in the pharynx or in the nasopharynx, and some people experience the diarrhea. Sometimes the COVID-19 virus enters into the GI tract, and even the patients may not have the fever or some other conventional symptom, but the difficulty arises when the virus gets entry into the lung and there is a pulmonary phase. So in the initial phase, the virus get entry into the body and just enters into the blood to cause the widespread multiplication in the cells, in the host cells. It enters into the host cell, and just in a simple way, if I talk about in the layman language, it just captures the entire infrastructure of the cell and enters into the nucleus, just multiply there, and again releases into the blood to take the capture of the other cells. So this is in the layman term. However, the process is very much complex. So this phase is known as the viremia, means the virus in the blood. So in this stage, basically our basic aim is to minimize the multiplication of the virus in the blood or keep it into the limit. So in this phase, it is better not to give any steroid, because if we give the steroids in this stage particularly, there are the host immunity is compromised, and then we actually just compromising with the immunity obviously, and we give the chance to the virus to again multiplicate. Then after the viremic phase, the virus starts to settle into the lung to give the pulmonary phase and the pneumonia. This is the phase, actually these are the two phases. There is not clear cut margin or a boundary, somehow they are overlapping. So it is the decision of a physician. In that way, it has been said that the use of steroid should be limited in the hospital setups, or at least under the direct supervision of a doctor. It is not to be taken by purchasing it from the over the counter or from the medical store and just ingest all these corticosteroids. This is very harmful, because a qualified doctor is only able to identify whether there is the inflammation in the body and there is a surge of these cytokine storm, or what we call, in a simple word, if we can say, that it is a increase in the inflammation due to the activity of the virus. So when viremia phase starts to cease and there is a widespread inflammation in the body, in the vessels as well as in the lungs, in that condition the steroids play an important role. So the steroids are to be given either by the mouth or by the injectable, in the hospital setup, by the mouth, under the direct supervision of a doctor. So it is an important aspect, because we can save the life of the patient by actually giving these steroid at right time, and not the injudicious use of these steroids may prove fatal. Because if we give these steroids, we start these steroids very early, then probably we are giving a life to the virus. But when virus multiplicates and just try to create the widespread inflammation, if we prescribe the steroid in this stage, probably we are just protecting our body from the harmful effect of the virus. So this is the basic thing that we have to keep in our mind. Now apart from that, we don't have any specific medicine to actually restrict the virus. Various medications have been approved for the emergency or restricted use, just like the favipiravir, just like the remdesivir. They may have some role in the just multiplication of, to check the multiplication of the virus. So it is important that if we prescribe, or if a doctor prescribes this antiviral drug, that is probably to be given prior to the pulmonary phase. Means its role is effective in the viremic phase, when the virus is in the blood, in the viremic phase, not in the pulmonary phase. In the pulmonary phase, the role of steroid is much in comparison to the favipiravir or remdesivir. So favipiravir and remdesivir, they are not wonder drug. Now we noticed in the month of April and the May, the rush for these medicines, and the black marketeers took the advantage of this situation, and they earned the hefty amount by selling these medicines at the 10 times of the price. Now apart from all these things, the most important thing is oxygen. Take my words for it, the oxygen is the only medicine. It is a tool obviously, but it is the only medicine that is beneficial to the patients of the COVID-19 disease. But the important thing is that we noticed in the month of April and May, the rush of the patients with the cylinders on their shoulders, and here and there is haphazard and mismanaged things. Probably these are not good things. The oxygen has to be administered by a qualified medical personnel. We should know how much amount of oxygen is to be given to a patient, what are the methodology of the administration of the oxygen to the patients. These are the important things. At least one should have an idea how much amount of oxygen to be given to a patient per minute, right from the oxygen concentrators, which just gives the 1 liter to the 5 liter of the volume of oxygen to a patient through a nasal cannula or nasal prong. This is the method and the most just commonly used method in the month of April and May, when we just faced the shortage of hospital beds. Second thing, if the patient requires more amount of oxygen, then it has to be administered with the help of a mask covering the entire nose and mouth. These masks are of many varieties, but in a simple word, the mask is just connected with the mouth, totally covering the nose and the mouth, and connected to a oxygen cylinder. Particularly, the oxygen cylinders are of the two types. One is small, that is known as the B type, and one is jumbo, a big cylinder, that is the D type. So this B type cylinder may be used to give the oxygen at a metered dose, because it is supplied with a machine, with a simple water filled vessel with the exact amount of the oxygen to be administered to the patient. Now, how to determine? See, in a normal way, because in a normal hospital setup or a normal bed or even at the home, we can just check this dose or amount of the oxygen by simply maintaining the oxygen saturation with the help of the pulse oximeter that is placed on the finger. The arterial blood gas is only just limited to the ICU setup. In normal circumstances, the portable pulse oximeter is okay. However, in ICU setup and in some hospital setup, we can use multi-patient monitor, or at least 3 para monitors are being used to just identify the exact saturation. Our basic aim is to maintain the saturation between 92 to 94. The 94 is an ideal situation. We don't need to give so much of oxygen that we just maintain this saturation at the 97, 98, no need at all. Just give so much of amount of oxygen that we could maintain the saturation at the 94 level. It is adequate. If the patient feels, or if the respiration rate is continuously increasing, particularly in children and in adults and the patients of COPD, the protocols are altogether different. If the patient feels difficulty in inhaling the oxygen and have more exertion, then in case our basic aim is to decrease the exertion of the patients. So there are the rebreathing, this mask, there are certain other type of the mask, then one should increase the amount of oxygen, because by the normal B type cylinder one can infuse the 15 liter oxygen to a person. After that, we have certain other methodology to increase this tidal volume and give more amount of the oxygen. In layman terminology, if I just ask, then we have some certain other things like the mask with a reservoir, and for the COPD patient we may use the venti mask also. So the majority of the patients, they can be managed by this method in a normal ward. But if again the patient is just struggling with the breathing, then we have to shift these patients, and the saturation is continuously decreasing, the rate of respiration is again increasing, so we have to assist the respiration with the help of BiPAP. The BiPAP is a machine by which we can just control the inspiration and expiration pressure as well as the volume of the air. Is a simple word we can say. So in the ICU setup, the majority of the patient in this way, they can be managed with the help of this BiPAP machine. If again the condition deteriorates and patient is going into the towards the unconscious state, then in a very few cases we require the intubation, and that is carried out by an experienced anesthetist or the anesthesia department in a dedicated ICU. So these are the things. So now we come to the basic question: is third wave is in offing or imminent. My point of view that virus is in the air. As soon as the virus finds a conducive environment, it is bound to infect the persons. We need not to worry. What we have to do, we just keep our lifestyle healthy. The food habit should be kept at the best. Just try to avoid unnecessary traveling or going into the crowded space. Just maintaining the social decorum, the social distancing, as well as just maintain the hand hygiene. There is no need to unnecessarily use the hand sanitizers. I always prefer to use a simple soap and the adequate washing of the hands is an important thing that should be taken care of. So instead of using instead of using the sanitizers, it is always better to use the hand washing with the help of a soap. It is always better. Just keep the hygiene at the best. Now, if anybody gets infected, no need to worry about the pulse oximeter. Keep the watch on the oxygen saturation and the temperature. If temperature is higher, then probably there may be some difficulties, because in that condition it is seen that the viremia is afflicting the patient means the viremia is more. Initially the patient can be managed in the home isolation setup. However, the ICMR has given the clear-cut definition of the cases of mild, moderate and severe. It is everything is in domain, but for the normal point of view, I would like to say that one should manage the temperature as well as the oxygen saturation. Just keep the watch on the oxygen saturation. If it is maintaining at above the 95, it is okay, then the cases are in the mild category. But if it starts declining from the 95, just go to any hospital and get yourself admitted. Now we are very much equipped. We have enough beds, we have enough oxygen cylinders, we have enough oxygen concentrators, we have enough BiPAP machines, we have enough ventilators. So there is no need to worry. However, my suggestion is that be vigilant, and if the illness is mild, then there is no need to go to the hospital, but keep yourself under the observation of a qualified practitioner. It is always better. Just have the words to your physician and a local physician, because nowadays the local physician, they have been managing the disease very well. People have been rushing to the local clinics and as well as hospitals, irrespective of the symptoms. So the things are better nowadays. So let us forget the third wave. The take home message is that let us forget the third wave. The viral infections, they are bound to happen. The virus may infect anybody, but no need to be panic. Just keep your body and mind, just keep your mind calm and keep your body as the best of rest during the illness. We have noticed that the people who took adequate rest and was positive, they recovered very well even at home. The home isolation is always better, because you know that the hospitals, they are full of infections, and the cases of mucormycosis, they happened on account of these different type of masks, continuous placement of the mask on the face. So this area, eye, nose and all these, they afflicted more. So why to go to the infections? But in case of moderate to severe illness, we have to rush to the hospital. But there is again no need to worry about. These are viral infections. We fought against these viral infections very well right from the hundreds of the years, hundreds and thousands of years, you can say. These viruses are not new, they are the part, they are, and the mutation is a normal thing. Nowadays in the media we have been noticing delta, delta variant, whatever it may be, the mutation is a natural process for the virus. It has to mutate in order to survive, because it is also a living thing. So there is no need to get afraid by these viruses. Just prepare your body for that, and be positive and carry the positive energy. Just be positive about the outcome of the disease. If you are afflicted with the disease and virus is not going to anywhere, just follow the guidelines, have the vaccination properly, the both doses of the vaccination should be taken, and the guidelines of the concerned government bodies should be followed. One should not fall prey to the persons who actually misguide the patients, and have adequate food, live food in your diet in the form of these citrates like citrus fruit, adequate citrus fruit in your diet. And the people who actually say that there are certain non-vegetarian diet that may help, it is not like that. You take your natural diet, have adequate exercise, and you can take certain important and the immunoboosters thing like Chyawanprash. In this season it is very good for the, particularly for the children and the old age persons. So I would not use the word third wave, I would use the spike in the cases. They may be there. We could see them in the month of October and November, and some maybe early in the month of September. But the only thing is that we have to be adequately informed and just help others in the society. There is no need to just create an environment for the black marketing. Everybody has the right to get the best of treatments, and the governments are now fully prepared. So there is no need to worry about. So just forget the third wave. There may be some spikes, and just live normally, be healthy, have healthy food, and may you long live. Thank you very much.